Okay, as I said on Sunday, I had something come up, so I'm not going to be able to post after the market's closing, but we are getting the bounce. The VIX predicted we would get a bounce or a bottom in the next two trading sessions. We are getting a bounce. Trend signals have turned bearish. They remain bearish. Momentum has turned bearish, but the VIX had surged above the 200 period moving average. It had surged by 21%, so it was predicting we would get a bounce or bottom. I told you if we see the bounce, we can get a back test. We're coming down to the 50 period. We're still above it. We may not get a full back test, but we could try to fill the gap and get a back test, or just test the 50 period here and get a throwback. Whichever way it plays out, again, you've had a breakout of the bullish falling wedge. You have the tightening of the Bollinger Bands. We've had the bullish diversions play out. We're above 50 on the RSI. The MACD is just below the center line. It's got to turn in positive territory. It's turned up to it here. It's got to go in positive territory and remain there for volatility to sharply return, much like what we had in February and March, as we had the surge, the uptick in volatility that gave us the sell-off. So again, we'll be watching this breakout and the 50 period moving average closely. S&P is rebounding by 1.18% at the moment. Here we are a couple of hours into the session. We lost the cloud, we lost the 20 and the 10. A big sell-off in the previous two sessions on Thursday and Friday. We're now trying to rebound back up. And again, we'll see if we attempt to fill the gap, if we test our 10 period moving average or not. I believe that we're in wave 4. We're going to get wave 5. Now, the wave 4 may be more shallow. It may be, here I've just marked it moving back towards the cloud and the 200 period moving average. It may fall short of that. It may be shorter or more shallow than I have marked here, or it may be a little bit deeper. But I believe that we're in wave 4. I believe wave 3 is completed right here. But for a bigger sell-off, the RSI has got to drop below 50 and stay below it. We dropped below it, but then we bounced right here. So again, if we drop below it, stay below it, you can get a bigger sell-off. That's what happened over here. We dropped below it here after the February high, and we stayed below it until the sell-off was over. So we'll be watching. Does a 10 period, does a cloud now act as resistance? We drop below them. The cloud is read into the future by momentum cloud. I think we're going to move back to the trending cloud here. But again, we're getting a bounce as the VIX predicted. I talked about this over the weekend. Seeing the divergences play out on the MACD and the Awesome Oscillator. The stochastic is still below 50. So again, we're going to be watching to see if we get a counter trend here and then resume the decline. If we get the counter trend, how big is it? Do we fill the gap? Do we not fill the gap? Here we're trying to rally back up towards it, but have not yet filled it here on a closing basis. Now we're rallying up towards the low of the candlestick from the Thursday reversal bar. Here's the reversal bar up close, confirmation. Now we need a follow through, but we're coming back up, and here we are coming towards this low, the close up here. So again, we'll be watching to see if that gap attempts to fill or not. But a bearish bell hold candlestick right here, and that candlestick was confirmed. Now we need a follow through if we're going to get more downside, which I believe that this is just a bounce. We're up about 1.25%, just under 1.25% as I'm making the video about 2 hours into the session. We reversed off of this major trend line of resistance in the weekly time frame that I've talked about. Our log scaling, our linear scaling, we slightly overthrew this trend line from the 2023 low, and again, I think we're pulling back. Got the 20 period now getting back above the 50 period moving average, so I think we're pulling back, but then we're going to try to go to these other upper channel lines. Here it is with our linear scaling, the upper channel here with our log scaling, so I think we pull back and then we go higher, forming more divergences, but I don't think they're done yet. 5-minute chart going up to the 200 period moving average. Again, if we can fill the gap, we go up a little bit above that area, then we'll be watching. Again, remember we had the gap and trap back over here on the 15 and the 5-minute chart here. The bullish divergences that we saw form over on Friday are playing out. We have these bullish divergences. I talked about that on the 15-minute chart, and that's giving us the bounce. We got a gap higher. We'll be watching to see if we finish this rally or maybe fill the gap and finish the rally. If we establish a lower high, if we come back and fill this gap, I'll be watching to see, do we fizzle out here at the 200 or just above it? The 50 is still below the 200 here on the 5-minute chart. Similar divergence on the 15-minute chart, and again, I talked about this over the weekend, and again, we saw price now rebound back up, so we'll be watching. Again, we're coming to just under the low from the reversal bar session, the Thursday session, and then the close is just above that on the daily chart, so we'll be watching that. 50 is still below the 200, so if we try to climb higher to fill the gap, you're going to move closer to that 200 period here in the 15-minute time frame. But the divergence is playing out, so we'll be watching to see, just how far this rally goes. But I told you that the VIX was predicting a bounce. The VIX was correct, a bounce or a bottom. I doubt it's a bottom. I think it's just a bounce. P got rejection at that upper Bollinger Band, as I told you, and we turned down, and VIX is now predicting a bounce or a bottom. I think we're getting a bounce. I think we're going to get a lower high, maybe fill the gap here, and then I think we're going to resume and move towards the cloud, move closer towards the 200, maybe to the 50 here or just beyond the 50, and we don't reach the 200. It may be a more shallow pullback. We simply don't know. I believe it's wave 4. Be something uglier, maybe something not so ugly. I'm just looking at support and resistance, but again, the signals nailed it. Rejection at that upper Bollinger Band, as I warned you, was going to happen. It did. S&P broke down from the rising wedge. It back tested with that new high. We moved 18 points above last Tuesday's high, back tested it, and we got rejection there. We're now coming up here again to the cloud and the 20-period moving average. If we get rejection there, then that may be it. If we go higher, we can fill the gap and move to the 10-period, going deeper into the cloud. The cloud is right into the future, the momentum cloud. Again, eventually I think we're headed back here and towards our 200-period moving average, not seen on this chart. I just have the 10 and 20 for the and the cloud here, the momentum cloud. But the divergences are playing out. If we sell off and we firm up around the center line, then that may market into it. If we move into negative territory with the MACD, we can get something uglier. Told you I was looking to play these divergences. They're playing out. These divergences are taking us back to the 200-period moving average. Again, if we start and we're going up to the 50, just like we're moving up towards the daily moving averages, the 20 testing it right now, the 10 is just above it. Here, the 50 is just above it. If we get rejection and drop back below the 200-period, so again, I think we're in an ABC move here. I think it's wave 4, primary wave 4. I think primary wave 3 finished with the divergence, and then I think we're going to go get one more high for primary wave 5, and then I think the bull market will come to a conclusion, and I think we'll complete the blow off top. Back over here, this was corrective, and that's why I told you we were going to go make new highs, which we did. Told you I was looking for a new all-time high. Once that happened, I told you I was looking for a top. Called that last Tuesday. It did not play out. We went a little bit higher, 18 points higher. Called it for a second time on Thursday. So far, that has played out. We'll see if we now have the counter trend as the VIX is predicting, but I do expect that this is going on. So again, I don't think we're going down to take out these lows yet. I think we eventually will, but again, I think we're not done with the blow off top, and I remain of the opinion that we're likely going to rally into September or October at this point. Same thing here with NASDAQ. It's rebounding 1.42%. The divergence is played out. We're bouncing off the 200. So again, rallying up towards the 50 in the cloud. Do we get rejection there and resume the decline? Probably. So again, we're going to be looking for a bigger sell-off, maybe to come back and fill the gap here. Maybe a shallow retracement or something deeper. But again, I believe that we have wave 4, wave 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 now under construction, 3 just completed. So this is what I think is going on. So here you have it, the hourly chart. Here it is on the daily. Again, we broke down, tried to get back above the trend line. S&P back tested it. NASDAQ tried to get back above it here, and we lost the cloud. We're rallying back up to the 20-period moving average, just under the 10 there. Let me move my line here so you can see it. We're just under that 10-period moving average in the cloud. So do we get rejection here? Are we getting the bounce and then we turn down? But we're up rebounding. We're rebounding 1.45%. So again, I'll be watching the 50. I'll be watching the 200. I think we're going to probably move down here somewhere in between those levels towards the cloud. Again, we may get something deeper towards the 200 or just beyond it. or a more shallow retracement. But again, I think we're in 4, and then I think we'll get 5 again in the daily time frame. 1, 2, this whole thing being 3, then 4, and then 5 up here, and I think that's likely going to complete in September or October. Keeping with our seasonality in that we had the rally. Well, we actually went sideways on the S&P during much of July, and then got that final bump towards the end of July. But keeping with the seasonality, we're likely going to see the August sell-off and then an August low here somewhere, probably in late August. I think we sell off for 2, maybe 3.5 weeks, something like that, and then I think we bottom out. I just don't know if it's going to be a shallow retracement or something deeper. Saw with the reversal confirmed, we saw trend signals turn bearish, we saw momentum signals turn bearish. So again, the VIX predicted that we would get a rebound. Is it now happening, and then we resume the advance? Well, as long as the trend signals and the momentum signals remain bearish, then we could get a bigger sell-off. But the VIX got it right. It did predict a bounce or bottom. As long as we close positive, then the VIX will have a correct signal. Still early in the session. As I said, we're about 2 hours into the session here, but again, you can still see that signals are still bearish here with our trend signals, even though we're getting this rebound back up. Again, on Friday, signals turned bearish, validating a reversal. So again, as long as the signals remain bearish, we can go lower. Again, the VIX predicted the rally we're getting right now, as long as we close positive. So we'll be watching to see, do the signals remain bearish, giving us the wave 4, the bigger wave 4. Again, wave 4 might be shallow or it might be deep. We don't know that yet, but again, it's likely that we have wave 4. A bearish reversal of conditions. We're rebounding back up as the VIX predicted. If we close positive, the VIX will be correct, but we still have a bearish reversal of conditions. Red cloud, red bars. You see the little red arrow there confirming our reversal bar. Momentum has shifted. Trend signals are bearish. So the risk is we get a bigger sell-off to the 50, to the 200. Again, for wave 4. The 200 currently is at 59.03. So again, if we end up going negative, we'll get a bigger sell-off with our awesome oscillator and MACD, or does the MACD firm up around the center line and we get a more shallow retracement. Momentum is bearish, trend signals are bearish. Same thing for the NASDAQ. Again, red, we're moving back to these 10-period moving averages for a test. We're moving back to the 50 periods on the 60-minute charts for test. That is normal behavior. So the VIX is getting it right, but momentum is still bearish, trend signals are still bearish. As long as they remain that way, we can get the bigger sell-off again towards the 50, towards the 200. I think you're going to end up dropping below the 50 and moving closer to the 200, but just maybe not as close if we get more of a shallow retracement, as I've said. I don't know how big the sell-off is going to be. I'm expecting on the S&P about 400, maybe 500 or 600 points. Well, again, signals remain bearish. I'll do my normal update tomorrow. And this information useful, support the channel below. I thank you for your consideration for that.